Hey guys, Yurichima-san back at it with another video, and finally today I am coming out with my video about my experience playing Sonic the Hedgehog for the first time. A little while back I made a video talking about Sonic Mania and how it deserved an apology, and first of all, thank you so much for anybody who watched that video. It did pretty well for my channel. It got like over 200 views, which for my channel that's pretty successful, being a smaller channel. But one thing I mentioned in that video was I've never played the original Sonic trilogy, and I was planning on trying at least one of them out just to see like what I thought about them, because you know, as some of you might know, my first Sonic game was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, and that was like how I got introduced to the Blue Blur. And honestly, all I've played then has been the 3D Sonic games. The only 2D Sonic game I've played was Sonic Mania back when it released, and I ended up loving the game. And then like I said, I made a video talking about how the game doesn't deserve any hate because randomly people started to hate that game, and it got me thinking like maybe I should play the original trilogy. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys and say I've never tried the original trilogy. Here's a funny little story. When I was young, after playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, I've dabbled in Sonic DX, and I just became a big Sonic fan because of that game. And I'll never forget going to Game Crazy and you know, looking for a game to buy, and one of the games there on the shelf was Sonic, I think it was Mega Collection for the GameCube. And I lost my mind because it was like, oh my god, another Sonic game that I can get. So I ended up, you know, begging my mom, and she ended up buying it for me, and I was so excited to play it. And then I was, you know, rudely awakened that the game was a mega collection of the old school Sonic games. So again, I am super young at this point. I think that game came out in 2003, 2004, around there. So I was around 9-10 years old. So I was like, oh, this isn't the games. This isn't the same game I was playing with Sonic Adventure 2 Battle or Sonic Adventure. But I'll try this out, and I hated it. I ended up hating it so much as a kid. Made me resent 2D Sonic, and I think because of that, I've never went back. And again, as an adult now, of course, I can appreciate 2D Sonic as much as the next guy, but I've never really felt the urge to go back, even with the hype of Sonic Mania. But finally, I decided, okay, let me try these games out, because there has to be something, right? There has to be a reason why these are considered like some of the best games ever made. So I was going to play the original trilogy and but I don't know what it was. I just had no inspiration to play the games, and I think it started to hit me back again. Like, I just don't think I liked those games when I was young, and I think that I'm going to play them and not come out of it with a great experience, and it's gonna be a shit video because of that. But you know, so I was scared to play the old school Sonic games, but I decided, you know what, how about I take it easy on myself? I will play the first Sonic game, the very first one, Sonic the Hedgehog, released I think back in 1991 if I'm not mistaken. A game that I don't think I've ever played, or like I said, I played maybe once or twice when I was 10 through that you know, collection for the GameCube. And I said, you know, let's just play Sonic 1, see how I feel about it, and go from there. I just want to let you guys know that I played this game through the Sonic Origins collection. I have to do some research, but I don't know if anything's really changed with the Origins collection, specifically to Sonic 1. But you know, if something is different, please let me know in the comments below. Speaking of the comments below, guys, if you love this video, please leave a comment, leave a like, and maybe subscribe. We're gonna do a lot of Sonic content here on this channel, including you know, Nintendo content as well, and JRPG content. But Sonic is definitely a big focus on my channel. So again, if you love this video or like this video, please consider subscribing. So how I'm gonna tackle this video is basically talking about each zone in a sense, and going from there. So the first zone of Sonic is Green Hill Zone, and I love Green Hill Zone. I think everybody who's played anyone who knows Sonic knows what Green Hill Zone is. I will never sit here and be like, I don't know what this was, I don't know what this is. No, Green Hill Zone is a classic Sonic level, and I love it. I loved it. The one thing that caught me off guard was how fast the levels were. I think Green Hill Zone Act 1, 2, and 3, literally I did that in like 5 minutes or less. It was very short. It was a lie, you know, that first trio of levels there lied to me about what the rest of the game was gonna be like. But I truly thought to myself, like, wow, this game, that was fast. Some surprises were the fact that it was fast, and just the how to explain this, I thought it was for some reason 2 acts. I thought it was act 1 and then act 2, and then the end of act 2 had a boss. But no, it looks like there's 3 acts per stages, per zones. It's 2 levels and then a semi-level with boss at the end. So for those of you who were telling me that the game is very short, I suck at this game because it was not super short for me. Again, Green Hill Zone was, but as for Green Hill Zone in general, there's not much to say. It's a classic zone, it's an iconic zone. It is a zone that I've played before. A lot of games that have come out after Sonic 1 have, alluded to this zone a lot, have given it its homage. So I feel like I've played this a billion times over. The first boss was pretty cake, I want to say. One thing I've noticed is that these bosses, specifically Eggman, can take multiple hits. I could have sworn, maybe I'm thinking about Mario or something, these bosses would take 3-4 hits, but I think it was like 8 or 10 before the Eggman went down, so that caught me off guard. But yeah, other than that, Green Hill Zone, iconic zone. I don't think there's much to say about Green Hill Zone. So the second zone. The second zone is actually the zone that made me realize something pretty big here, and it's called, I think it's Marble Zone. I wrote some notes, but honestly I don't even think I need to look at the notes for this one. This threw me off so much. I was not warned about what would transpire here with this zone in particular. Marble Zone, I don't know if this is gonna come out like weird or whatever, but it didn't feel like a Sonic level. It was very platformy, but it's weird to say it doesn't feel like a Sonic level because, well, it's a Sonic game and it's the first Sonic game. So in reality, maybe the other Sonic games that came out afterwards don't feel like a Sonic game because this is what Sonic is supposed to be. But because I played 3D Sonic and Sonic Mania, this zone threw me for a loop, no pun intended. It is like a platforming video game zone. It reminded me a lot of like Mario. I don't know if that was the intentions. I don't know if this was supposed to copy Mario, specifically this zone. But I came out of it not liking it. I'm gonna be real. I did not like this level whatsoever. I thought it was pretty mid. It was like the music was interesting, and it played a lot in my head because I died a lot in the zone. Just because of pure confusion. I also realized that there was some really fucked up enemy placements here that just threw me off completely, and I don't know, I just didn't like it too much. I will say I clutched up at the end because on the third zone, it was like a long zone and then you fight the boss, and I got to Eggman with no rings, and somehow I just managed to beat him, which, like, thank God, because I didn't know if I was gonna. Honestly, I'm gonna be real honest right here. During this zone, I considered scrapping the whole video in general. Because, and I know it sounds crazy because it's like, damn, you're a quitter. It's not that I was gonna quit the game. Like, it's not that the level, like, I couldn't do the level. I ended up beating the level. Duh, here I am talking about it. But it was like realization that maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this shit is not for me, and the video that I'm gonna make because of this is not gonna be kind. But thankfully I persevered and I pushed through, and yeah, I ended up doing the zone, and again, I still don't like it. I didn't like it. I still don't think it's a great zone, but it was all right. And then, I know from now, now that I beat it, I searched online to see what opinions were about this one in particular, and it looks like it is very mixed. It looks like some people really think this is like the worst zone in Sonic history. Some people think it's like unique, and for that reason it's like a good zone. I'm gonna go with pretty bad. I didn't like it. Not the game's fault. I think maybe it's me. I went in here with different expectations, and I just did not like the zone whatsoever. Again, was able to beat it, so I'm not like rage quitting here, but just did not like it. That's all I gotta say about that. The music was weird, and it was okay, but other than that, I did not like it. Fuck them bats, by the way. The next zone is Spring Yard Zone. So this one I actually ended up liking, especially after going from what I experienced in Marble Zone. I actually liked Spring Yard. It wasn't bad. For some reason I thought it was like a casino level at first. I was like, oh, is this a casino level? It wasn't. It was like unique looking. I didn't really know what was going on with the level in general. I think you're like in a city or something. I don't, it said Spring Yard, so I guess like it's like a junkyard. I didn't get that vibe playing it. I thought it was pretty good. Finally, like the speed came back for it. The speed was a big component of the zone, although there's still some platforming here and there, obviously, with like the levels that you kind of like go up and down. I don't know how to explain it. This zone definitely had a lot of like weird enemy placements, and I hated the one like hedgehog-esque enemy that would like chase you, because there was one point where I just died because like I didn't know he was following me, and it just killed me. Overall, not a bad zone. I like the music in this one a lot, and actually like just the flow of the zone was fine with me. I just did not dislike the zone. I don't know what opinions are for this one, because again, I only really checked for Marvel Zone because that was the one zone that was like, what is this? But Spring Garden Zone, pretty good. Music is pretty good. Didn't make me hate the game. I actually persevered and wanted to continue playing because of the zone, because like, oh, maybe that last zone was just that last zone being a weirdo, but I think I might like this still, and we just continued playing. Boss was pretty easy as well. You know, he kind of like took Eggman took like little squares away, and you had to be careful not to land there because it's instant death. So I died like once, I think once or twice, but overall pretty chill zone. Like the music, nothing too special about it though. So the next zone is Labyrinth Zone, and this one I ended up liking a lot. I don't know why. The music's really good on this one, and I just think it was a gorgeous level. I got some anxiety because it was a water level, and from the little that I remember from the old school Sonic games, water levels, you know, they give you a PTSD, you know, like, because that music chime plays in and you know you're gonna drown, and it's just not a good time, and you gotta find them bubbles or just climb up to the surface. But I ended up liking the zone. I don't know why. I don't know. Again, I don't know what consensus are for this one in particular. But I just thought the music was nice. The visuals were very pretty. The final act gave me anxiety because you basically have to climb up and try not to drown. This zone in general kind of made me realize, like, okay, I think I might actually like Sonic 1, because now we are, you know, we liked the first level, we hated the second level, the third level was all right, and this level was pretty cool. Like, Labyrinth Zone was really, really cool. Nothing crazy to say about it. I just love like some of the animations. I think another thing to like just say, this game came out in like 1991. Again, I'm playing the Origins version of these games, so I don't know if anything truly has changed too much, but if visuals they haven't been touched, I will say this game is gorgeous. This game is gorgeous. This is a gorgeous game. Labyrinth Zone was definitely that one level that was like, whoa, like this is what this game was capable of back in the day. Like, this is sick. I can see why a lot of people like gravitated to this game even over Mario, because Sonic 1 is just a gorgeous video game. So yeah, that's what this zone made me do. It made me reflect back and was like, wow, this is a really cool zone. This is a gorgeous zone. The music's still really good. I think this is like, I can see now some of the reasons why this ended up being like a classic. So that's what Labyrinth Zone did for me. So Starlight Zone is the second to last level of the game, and honestly, Starlight Zone was okay. I don't know why, I found this one pretty challenging. I couldn't get behind the whole like jumping on the little seesaw and it like flying up. Sometimes I'd get hit or I'd mess that up. I don't know. Starlight Zone was okay. The boss, because like Eggman needing to be attacked with those seesaws, that, like, I was having so much trouble with that, to the point where I was getting frustrated. Not a big fan of like the boss, but you know, again, the game is trying to throw a challenge to you, and I'm assuming it's because it is the second to last level. So I wasn't a big fan of the level in general, but it wasn't bad. The music was cute. The visuals, again, pretty nice. I like the design of the levels in general, but definitely not my favorite level. You know, the boss, like I said, the boss really got me tight. That's the number one thing I see in my notes here. Like, I was just not having a good time against Eggman, that's for sure. The final level was Scrap Brain Zone, and I struggled so much with this one. I don't know what it was. I mean, there was a lot thrown in, and I should have assumed, because it is the final level of the game, there was a lot just being thrown at you. The final boss in general, like with all those like lasers that would pass through, Eggman going back and forth between like those little like walls or whatever, I was struggling a lot. This reminded me of Marvel Zone, where I was like, man, why am I so garbage? But I just had to persevere because I was at the final level, and I was like, no, dude, I can't quit right here. As for a final level, I get it. I understand like the difficulty and why it had to be so damn hard. Almost like I was playing Cuphead. I was like, oh, dude, like there's some shit you gotta dodge here, you gotta duck here. It's weird. I don't remember too much playing it because once I finished playing that zone, I went to play something else immediately after. I was really upset. It was a hard zone, but not a bad zone. You know, it wasn't like this is like the worst level design ever. There were some moments that were cheap. I think one of the biggest complaints I have about like Sonic 1 in general is like some of the enemy placements, and also like some of the rings can be stingy. They can be kind of stingy with some of the rings here. And I even the bosses, like sometimes you would get up to a boss and you just wouldn't have a ring on you, and there was no rings during the boss fights. I could have sworn, at least in Mania, there's some rings like right beforehand for a lot of the bosses, if not all of them. But for this game, sometimes they just didn't give you rings. You were like, dude, SOL, you know, like you just gotta figure it out. So I just, you know, like I had a lot of moments like that. And I guess I'll just overall talk about my experience here with Sonic 1, as I'm talking about like some complaints and all that. I am very happy that I got to play Sonic 1. I'm very happy that I did it. I played Sonic 1. I can say I have played through the first Sonic the Hedgehog game. But I will admit here, as I'm talking to you guys, the audience, I am probably never gonna play Sonic 1 again. I'm probably never touching that game again. So I really wanted to play this so I can, you know, just experience it myself and talk to those who are, you know, interested in Sonic content and interested in my opinions about these Sonic games. But I learned playing this game that I definitely don't ever want to put myself in a pressure spot again. Like, and I know it sounds crazy, but like I really committed to playing the original trilogy, and I've been telling people, a lot of my followers, that this is what I'm gonna do. And because of that pressure I put to myself, I was so scared to play these games because I remember that as a child, I didn't really like these games. But now that I've played them as an adult, I played Sonic 1 now, and I beat Sonic 1. It's not even just like the scare of you guys or the scare of myself liking these games. I, in general, just did not like Sonic the Hedgehog 1 too much. And it's not me saying like it's a bad game whatsoever. Not at all. I think it's a fine game, but that's the thing. It's just fine. It's just a fine game. You know, I thought the enemy placements were a little weird. The music was okay. Some of it was pretty good, but some of it was like not really memorable. The boss fights were all right. A lot of them being very cheap, but all right, you know. The game was really short though. Like if you ever want to try out Sonic 1 for yourself, if you've never played it like I have, it took me like an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. But that's a lot of trial and error. I just did not know what to do, and I died a lot. But overall, like I see why this gravitated to a lot of people back in the day. And from what I hear, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 just completely shits all over this game. So maybe I will play Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but I don't know. I'll probably play it on my own free time, and if I end up liking it a lot, I will then make a video about it and say like why I liked it more or why I liked it less. But as for like the OG Sonic games, the original Sonic trilogy, if you've never played them, I'd say give them a whirl. Give them a chance. Don't let my opinions of not really liking the first Sonic game scare you from playing it if you've only played 3D Sonic. I still feel very proud knowing that I have played the original Sonic games or Sonic game and I've beaten it. And I can say that with a straight face. I've beaten Sonic 1, and that's that. But it just wasn't for me. You know, I think with the Sonic content that I'm going to make moving forward, I'm definitely going to focus on 3D Sonic because I haven't played a lot of 3D Sonic games in a long time. But I know that regardless of me liking them or not, I'll enjoy it a little bit more because there is some nostalgia at least there for 3D Sonic. So for those of you guys who were hoping that I'd play that game and come back and be like, oh my God, this was insane. I am sorry to say, no, I thought it was okay. And I respect those who love Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Maybe I'll dabble in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Maybe I'll dabble in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. But Sonic 1, overall, just an okay game that I probably will never touch again with a stick. I'm curious, though, in trying out the old school 3D Sonic games, like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Heroes. I haven't played those games in a long time. Sonic Adventure 2 I have not that long ago, like maybe like 2 years ago. But a lot of the old school games like Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Heroes, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic 06, you know, Sonic and the Secret Rings. I haven't played those games in a minute, so I don't know. I'm a big fan of someone like Some Call Me Johnny, and something that he does is like go through marathons. I'm really thinking about playing 3D Sonic and starting from the first 3D Sonic game with Sonic Adventure and going from there. So if you guys are curious or interested in seeing that or seeing my reactions to those games, let me know. I might do it. But it's definitely something I want to do for sure. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry again if it's not the answer you were looking for. I'm very proud of myself for playing through Sonic 1. But I will say, if you've never played Sonic 1, play it, give it a chance, because there's a reason why it's considered a classic. But it just wasn't for me. But I'm excited to go back to 3D Sonic and see how I like those games and go from there. But all right, hope you guys enjoy the video. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.